This is my field notes collection. It's not the biggest on the internet, but it's mine. I have only been using them for about 6 months, which is kind of crazy because it feels like it's been way longer than that. Even though it's only been 6 months, I think I'm addicted. But what about these little notebooks is so addicting? What makes me want to use these over any other notebook? I own several different types of pocket notebooks actually. These, and these. Yet, I always tend to gravitate towards the field notes. Why is that? So my initial thoughts of the field notes before having used them are as follows. 5.5 by 3.5 is just too big for me. 48 pages is not nearly enough pages. And the covers, I didn't find them durable enough. Thought they were a little flimsy. I used these for the longest time. These are the Pen & Gear mini composition books, and they can be found at Walmart. I would laminate the covers to make them stronger, because the covers by themselves weren't very strong either. They were probably very similar to field notes actually. These notebooks are 3.25 inches by 4.5 inches. So a little bit smaller than the field notes, and they have 80 sheets or 160 pages. That's compared to 24 sheets and 48 pages from the field notes. So a smaller footprint, a little bit more durable after I laminated them, and more pages. At the time, these were what I considered completely and totally ideal. Thought it was the perfect pocket notebook. Then, on a whim, for a video, I decided, let's buy some field notes. I figured I'd give them a try for a video and see how they were. After my initial attempt using field notes, I was not super satisfied. After I had just tested and used it for the first time, I was a bit more fond of the size and the number of pages. I felt like it was okay. I was like, okay, I get it after having actually used it for a little second. But these craft covers, they're just so flimsy. And I definitely wasn't used to that. After a while, I made a video or two about them. I made this video and I made this video. And eventually, Field Notes themselves actually sent me a few packs of Field Notes. Now, I have no clue what they're sending me, so it's like, it could be anything. Oh, we got Grand Canyon? Oh no, we got national parks. And I remember sitting on them for quite a while and not using them, mainly because I was stubborn and didn't want to use a different notebook. I kind of liked where I was. I was willing to try it, but like, not right now. Like, I needed a sec. But when I finally decided to give my Field Notes like a proper, official test run, I found something that I was not quite expecting. After using my first and then my second Field Notes, I discovered that I actually really enjoyed them. I initially fell in love with the National Parks collection. I thought the covers were beautiful, and the issues I had before with the cover durability, those issues were replaced with an appreciation of the wear and tear of the covers. Like, just look at how nice and just aesthetically pleasing these look after they've been worn in for a little bit. I also learned after using several different types that the craft notebooks, like the original craft, those are a lot less durable than any of the other varieties. They have thicker covers throughout. The issues I had with the number of pages in a Field Notes were also replaced by a certain giddy feeling I would get every time I completed a new Field Notes book. Yes, there were almost 75% fewer pages, but I also got to enjoy using a new notebook every couple of weeks instead of every couple of months. And this particular idea is something I definitely did not expect. I honestly figured, I would hate having to reset my notebook and get a new one every time, but I'm actually quite enjoying it. Like, I didn't think I would, but I quite dig that. It's such a fun time for me deciding which one I want to use next. This morning, I finished this one, and I replaced it with this one. And that was such a thrill to I'm done. Which one do I want to use next? And as far as the size goes, I found pretty early on that I quite like the 5.5 by 3.5, 3.5 by 5.5, whatever. Simply put, it's easier to write on bigger paper. If I have a smaller notebook, it's just a little tight. The field notes, the 3.5 by 5.5, it's the perfect size. There's a feeling I get, a feeling of excitement, jubilance, etc., when I go through my field notes collection. Now, I've got various other types of notebooks, right? But for one reason or another, they don't give me that same feeling. And I can't quite place what that feeling is exactly. Maybe it's a joy of filling up notebooks. Maybe it's a thrill of collecting. Maybe it's an excitement to start the next one. Whatever that feeling is, whatever that excitement or whatever that thrill, I'm hooked. Maybe it comes from the novelty of the field notes. Like, they're such a collectible, it seems, that maybe that's what's exciting about it. Maybe that's why they're so addicting. There are plenty of other field notes alternatives, and most definitely there are cheaper alternatives. But I just find field notes so fun. I have so much fun writing in field notes. It's not just the notebook or the paper, covers, whatever. You know, there's all sorts of different designs, but it's not any one of those things in particular. It's sort of the whole vibe. That sort of down-to-earth, regular folk, chill type of vibe. I don't know. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's best that I don't ask why. Maybe it's best that I don't ask why I'm obsessed with field notes. Maybe it's best to just simply enjoy them. Enjoy writing. Enjoy the feel. Enjoy the vibe. Enjoy filling them up. And enjoy starting a new one. Because when it comes to this, when it comes to writing in a notebook, it's not about the paper, the notebook, the covers, the measurements. The number one most important thing is the fun. The overall enjoyment of writing. That is what's most important. So, what I've concluded from this is that I'm addicted to field notes because I enjoy them. They're so much fun. And, you know, there was a time where before I started using field notes, I had trouble writing every day. And I would miss days, and there was days I wouldn't, whatever. Like, I had trouble kind of sticking to it. I would still write in my notebooks, but I wouldn't do it as consistently. But writing in field notes, I found that I really enjoyed it. It was fun for me to have a shorter term notebook that, you know, I could, it was a thrill to collect and it was all just fun. I enjoyed it. It was fun. And that fun of writing, of making, that is what it's all about.